Hi there, this is Tim. I'm one of the creators of Lifeline, and I'm back today to show you what you can do with custom session lengths. So when you open the launch panel of a session launch panel, you can do it here, or you can use a shortcut, Apple S, Control Option S. You also get the launch panel, and now you see here you have this control here. So you can say, instead of the normal 25 minutes, I can say I want to do 50 minutes, for example. So, and then here you'll see the end time that will result in. So the first thing of this is it's more mentally, it's you can be more intentional about what you want to do and how long you want to focus for. So of course in the free version you can just run like 25-minute cycles, so you could also do a 75-minute or 50-minute session, but by setting the 50 minutes intentionally at the beginning, you're kind of telling yourself, okay, I'm planning to focus for 50 minutes. And then you start it, and then of course the progress bar will now also represent 50 minutes. So you'll see that instead of normally where this would be the full width of your screen, now the full width of your screen goes here all the way to the end. So you make yourself first of all kind of commit to that goal, because if you want to stop earlier, you're like, I really set a 50-minute session. So one part of it is mentally, the other part is you see this red little mark. This indicates that that's where you will earn your next Pomodoro. So you can still see where like the next 25-minute mark is, which is especially handy if you're really following the Pomodoro technique. And I often find myself also doing what I just did, but kind of like as I'm in the middle of something and maybe I have something coming up like a call, or I need to get some groceries or whatever, I'll check and say, how much longer until the end of this meeting? Or just if I'm getting a bit tired and say, can I really make it till the end or not? So that's one aspect of the duration. You can't change the duration mid-session for this reason. Like, we want you to be intentional about your time, and if you, for whatever reason, can't make it to the length that you set, it's probably a good idea to kind of stop, take a break, and then start over instead of kind of mid-flight adjusting the session length. This also works the other way around. Like, sometimes, of course, for some reason you might want to limit your time. So instead of trying to focus more and longer, you can also say, I have only 10 minutes, or like, I don't want to spend more than 10 minutes on checking my email, for example. So then in that case, you can go to 10 minutes and say, okay, I'm going to do, well, I always call it Yesterbox because that's a philosophy I follow. But so like, I'm going to do my email, and then I know, like, it's like, okay, well, when the bar reaches the end, I have to stop. So that's another way how you can use this to kind of limit the time that you spend on a certain activity. So that can be very useful. Then there's a few more small things that you can do. So one is, if you go here to preferences and you go to sessions, you can here have some controls over your custom session length. So one thing is you can still keep your default length at 25 minutes, or you could say, well, I just want my default to be 50. So then you can set it to 50, and then every session that you do will always be 50 minutes. Then the other thing that you can do is you can say when Lifeline should go back to your default session length. So let's say I have my length on the normal 25, and now I launch a session for 50 minutes. If I keep this at every session, then I launch this session, and then the next session that I launch will just be 25 again, because that's my default length. But you can also say, I want this new length that I set here to stay for the rest of the day. So meaning, if now I launch a 50-minute session, and then the next session I launch will then also be 50 minutes until the end of the day, and then only the next day it will revert back to 25 minutes. So those are some of the controls you have over your custom session lengths, and it seems like a very simple feature, but it's one of our most popular pro features. It was one of our most requested features before we had it, and I use it all day. Like, for example, I do usually 75-minute sessions in the morning when I have more energy, and then I do usually shorter sessions like 50 or 25 in the afternoon. So I hope you'll also enjoy it, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions or suggestions on how to improve this feature. Thanks, bye bye.